Hey guys, it's Villain Theory, and if you've clicked onto this video, you're probably wondering what's going on. And I'm really struggling to talk about this. This is about my 10th time attempting to record it, but I am slowing down the channel. I am kind of stopping the channel. I don't know exactly how I'm going to fit in 3 months, 6 months' time, so I'm not going to say this is the end, but I would say I have about between 7 and 15 more videos in me before things either stop or look very, very different. And I still love Marvel Champions, but there are a few things at work here. One is that this takes a lot of effort to make these kind of videos because my videos on average are over 40 minutes. I put hours of preparation time into it. The editing is quite a lot, I would say, as well. Sometimes I record these videos twice because it didn't come out well, and I just want to give you guys the best experience. And honestly, I feel like I could put that time elsewhere, and maybe that would be a little bit healthier for me. I've also been playing the game for a very, very long time now, and putting my time and interest elsewhere. Maybe it's due, but I do still love the game. I cannot stress that enough. I do not plan to stop playing Marvel Champions. I will say the updates they gave us on the Fireside chat, the current environment and legacy environment stuff has not sat very well with me. I'm going to talk about that more at the end of this video because I do not want to distract from the rest of it because I could talk for a very long time about that. But I'm not super thrilled with the direction that I see Fantasy Flight Games are maybe taking the game, and I don't know how that's all going to play out yet because it hasn't really happened. But it's hard to become motivated when it's kind of hit my motivation, if you know what I mean. If I'm a little bit skeptical and doubtful about it and already spending maybe a little bit too much time on the channel and the game than I necessarily want to, it's all just kind of coalesced into the right time to slow things down and stop. I do really enjoy making these videos, but for a long time now, I've really just been covering new releases or previews. I've been covering my ongoing series, which I just always make, so I'm still making them. And there's also been a couple of sponsored videos. The only video, in fact, on the screen here that I really wanted to make that wasn't sponsored, ongoing, or covering new stuff is actually the Strongest Decks video down here. But even that, it's kind of a generic topic in a way, and it didn't really grip me creatively like some stuff does. And I do like covering new stuff, but it's a lot of work, and it kind of prevents me from covering the stuff I'm really interested in. Like if you go back 6 or 7 months, this is when I think I was really making more videos for me. Mod sets and changing up setup bonus modulars, talking about modulars in general, talking about villains. There's a lot of stuff here. Evolution of villains. I did the evolution of heroes, talking about standard sets. These are more interesting topics, specific topics, which I get to dig into and share my thoughts. And, some stuff lets me be creative. I could just stop all the new stuff, and honestly, I kind of am, although I will be doing a Shield review because I want to, and I've done a lot of work for it already. But kind of, it's just the right time to slow things down and stop. So as for these 7 to 15 videos, I'm kind of promising at least 7, hopefully 10, hopefully 15. I am definitely going to do another episode of Shadow of the Cast on this channel, and hopefully that is moving to Nelson's channel. We haven't worked out all the details, but I still like the game. I'm still playing the game. So makes sense for us still to do this series. So hopefully that is going to happen, and that will continue. Every Hero's Worst card with Boom Guy. We've got one more wave to do, and then we're waiting for the rest of the Shield wave. So we'll definitely do that last wave, and maybe we'll do that one in the future with the Shield wave and so on. But that's quite a distant thing. Definitely just at least one of those to go. Got another project coming up, which will be involving a couple of YouTubers and a lot of the community, hopefully. That will have a follow-up as well as an extra Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. related video with other people. So 5 kind of collaborative projects, videos coming up still, which I'm really excited for. Got my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. review. There's going to be another little fun video I just kind of want to do, something for myself. And then there's going to be 3 big projects that I've actually been working on for, on and off for months, that I've been contributing to, that I'm really excited to share with you guys. That I think it would be a shame if they weren't released, if I didn't finish them. Don't know quite what order this will all be coming out in. I think my next video will probably be the next Shadow of the Cast, but after that, we'll have to see how it goes. So I hope everyone continues to enjoy those videos, especially my patrons and YouTube members who've really invested in the channel and believed in me. I didn't want to just end the channel and that was it, especially as I know somebody new signed up a couple days ago, and that would feel terrible to me. I still have these things I want to do, but I just wanted to let you guys know kind of what is happening. Feel like I'm kind of rambling now. Hopefully you guys can understand this. I still like the game. I think you'll still see me pop up maybe on people's channels here and there. We'll have to see how it goes. I think once I'm not putting out so many videos all the time and trying to play so much to keep up with the entire expanding card pool in super high analytical detail, I'll be playing less. And maybe when I'm not under that much pressure to play, maybe I do stop playing. I don't know yet, but my plan is to keep playing because I do enjoy the game. We played a whole bunch of games this weekend and the weekend before it. Kind of when I made this decision, it kind of made me feel free to just enjoy the game as a game more and not as, oh, I need to play this many games to make sure I've experienced enough so I can talk about this topic or keep up with this, keep up with that. It's going to be a lot more fun for me, I think, to just take it easy and become a regular player again. And I think that is going to be very healthy. So while for the last 5 or 6 months, I have really been struggling to find the motivation to, make my own videos as opposed to just cover the new stuff, do the ongoing things, what has kind of quickened this has been that Fireside chat that announced the current and legacy environments. They did an article on their website as well about it. This comes from Fantasy Flight Games, where they're changing up the game quite significantly. And it's quite a complicated topic, and I don't want to stoke anything. I don't want to add any fuel to the fire, etc. I know a lot of people aren't happy about it. I am one of them, and it's for reasons that I think are maybe somewhat different from what a lot of people think. I had this whole multiple page kind of thing, almost like a script written out for this, which I've kind of thrown aside, so I'm not talking here for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes on it. But I've recently, again, just because I've been thinking on this a lot and trying to get past it, but I watched the live stream again. I read the article they put out about the upcoming legacy and current environment again, and it just doesn't sit well with me. The long story short, from my perspective, is Fantasy Flight Games are, they're focusing on this current environment, the last 2 or 3 years worth of content, and that's what they're designing around. Not for any of the older stuff, just for the new stuff. They're focusing their design on the short term in a game that, for me, I see it as a long-term investment. They have basically said multiple times that they're prioritizing design for new stuff, and in fact, that by focusing on new stuff, they don't have to worry about play testing with old stuff, designing, balancing around old stuff. So every hero pack I feel like I'm going to be getting onwards when this fully comes into effect in, I don't know, a year or so? I have no idea exactly. But it feels like all those packs are going to be giving me less value than the hero packs I'm buying today that are designed with the whole game in mind. And I think that's pretty tough. They call it a living card game, and if most of the game is dead in their eyes, if everything beyond the last couple of years of expansions is just not considered in their designs, is it really a living card game? I went onto Fantasy Flight Games' website to look up the living card games, and I was like, am I crazy? It says about how they're expanding, evolving, growing, how you can mix and match stuff. But this is kind of shrinking it to 2 or 3 years, and it's never going to expand because they're always just going to go back to the most recent 2 or 3 years. New stuff is going to become obsolete and old. At some point, it's just kind of feels like it's going against the promise of a living card game. It kind of feels like it's going against what I spent, years paying into and buying, years playing, and honestly, over a year now making videos for. I don't know, it doesn't feel good to me. It feels like they're a company that got saddled with massive debt from a bigger parent company. They released a successful TCG that does run on these kind of, faster cycles. And now they're trying to apply those kind of faster cycles onto their other games, which were specifically made to kind of avoid that kind of TCG-like format, to try and get more money. And this may be a bit of conspiracy theory stuff here, but it comes from some grain of truth because they're big companies that own some of the smaller companies. I can't remember how the whole chain with Fantasy Flight and Asmodee work, but basically, big companies have made bad financial decisions, and they're saddling their smaller companies with the burden. And Star Wars Unlimited, a TCG by Fantasy Flight Games, has done extremely well, and now suddenly Marvel Champions is moving more toward that kind of format, and I don't like it, and that really doesn't sit well with me. Now, I don't particularly love that old heroes aren't going to be reprinted. I got into Arkham when they reprinted the old stuff, and that seemed to be really successful to me. So the fact that they're saying they're not doing this for Marvel Champions, and then instead going to, redesign old heroes and reprint old cards, doesn't sit very well with me. Recycling the old, reusing the old, it's difficult. And people will say, it's been said in the articles on that, it's about design space, and that this will open up a lot of room for people that was previously taken. Maybe there were too many similar cards before, and they need to change it up. But I watched a live stream, and this contradicts the article because near the beginning, kind of the lead guy of the studio, I believe, says there's loads and loads of design space for the game still. So why they feel the need to kind of retread old ground, it's very confusing to me. They say also about the difficulty. Oh, if the players keep getting more cards, we have to keep making the scenarios more difficult. But the second expansion out of 8 for Marvel Champions is the hardest one. The second hardest is maybe the 7th expansion, which is somewhat recent, but it's the end of a trilogy. And Caleb Grace, the designer behind that, recently said in an interview on my podcast that it was a conscious decision to make it harder because it was the end of a big trilogy. And they've said they're not doing trilogies anymore. So if they're not doing trilogies anymore, these decisions aren't going to be happening. And again, it was made on purpose, it sounds like. Um, so if the second expansion is the hardest, the game hasn't kept getting harder. A lot of people, when I have, shown concern over what was said about the upcoming legacy and current environment changes, have said a lot of the reasoning is actually specific to Arkham, and Marvel is just being brought along kind of in the same kind of format. But I play Arkham as well. I think the hardest expansions were the third and then the fourth expansion, and that has like 10 now. So I don't think that kind of thing checks out at all there. Maybe some of the points do apply more to Arkham than Marvel Champions, but for my money, most of their points also are outdated for Arkham that don't apply to Marvel either. And it just kind of felt like they were trying to exaggerate problems or almost create problems to justify the changes as good for the players when actually it's good for the business. They're going to not worry about balancing with the old stuff. They're just going to focus on the short term, prioritize the new stuff. And if the old stuff gets wonky, the people who like to play with a big collection apparently are going to be okay with outrageous and wonky things. That's basically what the article says. I'm phrasing it slightly differently, but I think if you read it, you'll see the exact bit I mean. And I don't know. I feel like, a business is a business. It has to try and make money, and I don't begrudge a business trying to make money. I think keeping all the products from Marvel Champions in print, obviously, that's not maybe very realistic for the long term. I understand that. I don't necessarily know why they couldn't bundle them together like they did for Arkham's revised sets, because they actually have done that over in Europe. There are packs for the first hero wave and wave 2. You get multiple hero packs in one bigger box. They did make those in English. Some people have said they didn't. They did. They sold out everywhere I can find them because they were even sold by like some of my UK online stores and different things. They sold out. They sold well as far as I can see. So the fact they're not doing that just feels like they are going very money first. And it's a business. But as a consumer, as a player, as a customer, I don't have to like it if it's worse for me and better for them. If the alternative is the game comes to an end, I guess there's a choice between a game coming to an end, having been, held to high level of integrity and testing and balancing the whole time, or there's dragging a game on where you go from a long-term focus to short-term focus to try and, I don't know, keep getting money out of it, keep everyone just buying more and more and more. I don't know. Maybe I'm the odd one out here, but I kind of feel like I would prefer a complete game that didn't change from its core promise. And then, there's tons of games out there, and the way I see it for me is that I still enjoy playing Marvel Champions a lot. It is my favorite game by a good margin. But I'll probably finish buying the Shield wave. I'm probably going to buy the next wave of content and expansion. That is, I think, by Caleb Grace, one of the original lead designers, who has now left, but he designed this before he left. It is his quote-unquote Fantastic Swan song, not the Fantastic Four, though. And I feel like this would be a really good place to stop. Getting the final expansion by the final lead designer standing before they left feels like a really good place to complete, maybe like kind of a first edition of Marvel Champions. They're saying all the new cards will still be compatible with the old stuff, but just not designed with it in mind, not the priority. To me, that's just not the expanding, ever-growing game that I really wanted to play, even if all the stuff technically works together. I think I said this already, but if most of the game is going to be dead in the eyes of the designers, I don't know if I want to commit to keep investing in that for years and years. Short-term focus, for me, is a long-term investment. Doesn't seem like a great match. So whatever motivation I had left to definitely make videos and stuff on Marvel Champions, after that sort of Fireside chat update video, it's really kind of evaporated, and I found it very difficult to keep going. But like I said, I've got at least 7 more videos to go. 4 of them will be involving other people, and that'll be fun. And one is kind of a follow-up to one of those. It will make sense when you see it. You'll know what I mean when I say it. I'm really actually looking forward to it. I'm still putting a lot of effort into all of this. A couple of smaller videos, and hopefully a couple of bigger videos as well. And at the end of the day, I think this is just the right time to cool things off. So within 1 to 2 months, maybe 2.5 at a push, I think the channel will be very quiet. Maybe never to have a video again, or just occasionally, maybe something lower effort. We'll have to see. But a huge, tremendous thank you to anyone who's ever watched my videos, to anyone who's watching this the whole way, to anyone who's going to watch the upcoming videos that I'm still putting a lot of work into about my favorite game. Hope you all continue to enjoy the game. And yeah, it's been really, really amazing running this channel, making these videos. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys around.